Hey, yo, for those who ain't familiar, that may not be from New York City, you know, in the 80s, in the early 90s and beyond, it was a notorious gang in Brooklyn and all through New York City called the Decepticons, you heard? And when I was in high school, when I was going to graphic communication arts, aka printing, they wreaked havoc in the school, on them trains, in Midtown. It was serious. You heard? So you gonna get some Decept stories on this channel. You heard? It's different stories in Brooklyn, baby. It's different stories in Brooklyn. Some dudes took millions. Some dudes raged legendary wars. And some dudes was in these streets rumbling. You heard? And you gonna learn about some of them dudes on this channel. And that's a fact. Z-Man, Suicide Polo with the ski man running around the hood like He-Man.
They speak in Spanish, but you could tell by the body language they was coming to me for the jacket. And I'm like, what? And when I said what, I noticed that his two homeboys, they had Jeff stars in their hand, man. They had oxes and shit in their hands. And I'm like, what the fuck?
So how you said you ended up in the 4 building for the first time?
So for the first time going to the 4 building, right? It was 1991. Boom. Here it goes. I moved back to Brooklyn, right? And I go to Thomas Jefferson High School. You heard? 1990. Me and my peoples and shit. And Jeff, you could just run into people and meet people and shit, cutting through the hallways and all of that. Jeff wasn't even a high school. Thomas Jefferson was almost getting you ready for Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? That school led a lot of people to the island. I ain't gonna hold you, man. And some of them been on your channel. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, lad. So I go there, and mind you, I promised my aunt when she brought me back to Brooklyn to start high school and shit. I'm in the 9th grade or whatever. Got left back twice before I got there. I told her I'd behave myself, but I get in there, and one of the first people that I get in touch with is my motherfucking cousin. I finally moved back to Brooklyn after 12 years, and a dude in my class, keep looking at me, this light-skinned dude, man. Rest in peace. Everybody know Ninja, man. Rest in peace to my cousin Kershaw and Mitchell, man. Word, rest in peace. So him, he's in my class. I'm running around with him. I start meeting other people and shit. I meet this other dude. He from the East. He's my brother to this day, man. My co-defendant, Siberia, man. Word. Decept and all of that, man. We so many brothers on so many levels. It's crazy. This dude, he's part of this. But he went to Spofford. I go to Rikers Island. Me and him, and Jeff, you just run with a whole bunch of people, man, catching wreck and shit. Even though people might be affiliated with different shit, it was always Jeff. We just rep Jeff. We coming to Queens, we catching wreck. We run into a situation on the J train on our way back. This is our second day. Wilding. Cut the school, just going to Queens, running up at schools and shit. We came out here, we wilded out on Jamaica High School, Edison, Hillcrest. Had a fucking glorious day, man. Glorious day. Almost made it back. I want to cut it off. I want to cut that part, right? Because on our day back coming, we heard that we lost one of our brothers that day, man. And Jeff, he was supposed to cut school with us and come and catch some wreck and while out and shit. And he didn't come. He said he would stay in school that day. And He was murdered in Thomas Jefferson that day, man. Rest in peace, Daryl Sharp, man. Rest in peace, Elo. Right? He didn't come with us. So, the rest of us went on our way back last. Now you gotta remember, we in the 9th and 10th grade, so it's about 8 of us, 9 of us. We 14, 15, 16 years old. Come to find out, I'm the littlest one, but I'm the oldest one. I'm 16. The rest of these dudes, I mean, it was 3 of us that was 16, but they got away. It's 5 of us get grabbed up, last. I'm the oldest and the smallest one, man. Oh boy, we coming back. These dudes, I wasn't even on the same end of the cart with them. You know what I'm saying? By the time it was going down or whatever, we on the J train and shit, last. We all jump off the train. My niggas at the other end of the cart. They getting it on with some big grown ass man. They done took his chain. They done took his bracelets, his ring, his Walkman. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Splashed them and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Got ox down and shit on the J train. Everybody jump off, we running. I'm running. I had the orange box cutter, last. That shit popped out my pocket while I'm running this shit. I go back, I pick it up. That was the worst thing I could have ever did. My little ass get caught by some 6'3" ass, skinny ass, basketball looking ass cop, man. He had on Air Jordans, I had on these big ass Timbs, man. It knocked me and shit, 5'1", 5'2", the best, at best. Boom, they grabbed me and shit. Some niggas got away, they running around there, Franklin K. Lane. A couple of dudes got away through the graveyards and shit over there. Boom. They take us to the precinct. What precinct we wind up? Because we on the J train. They take us to Broadway Junction. I hate that spot to this day. We go to Broadway Junction, precinct down there. They do all that shit they gotta do, last. Boom. They send us to where we gotta go. To the we go to the courts or what have you. From there, I'm on the bus to the island for the first time ever. It's 1991, last. March is 91. Going there. Boom. Get through the 4 building. I don't want to talk about how you got to get searched and all of that. Everybody else talk about that. Worst degraded shit ever. Worst degraded shit ever. You know. And I can understand why a lot of people get scared and all of that. Yeah, from the sign that you see when you first walk through C-74 and all of that. I get through there. I'm in receiving. I'm looking. I ain't see too much yet. I ain't see all of the C-74 adolescents at war. But little do you know, man, I made it out within the week. They sent me to March 9, first of all, when I get there. I'm like, what the hell is this? I get up at March 9, you know. Through my life, thank God, I've been all through Brownsville, you know what I'm saying, downtown, you know what I'm saying, Farragut, Southside, you feel me? Group homes, all kind of stuff like that. So I'm always guaranteed to run into people I know and all of that. That's basically from the streets of New York, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, jail life and street life is different. So you'll get a certain respect for what you do in the street, but you got to behave differently in jail. I didn't realize that yet. You know what I'm saying? They sent me to Mar 9. I get in Mar 9. I'm in there. I see a couple of people that I knew from Brownsville, but you know what I'm saying? Like, not even high and by, just passing by all the time. Like, you walking down on Pickett Ave, I see this one. I'm up on Saratoga. I see your face again over there, and there are people I know, shit like that. But I never really got too familiar with people that I didn't know since, like, you know what I'm saying, Sandbox. If I see we got mutual people, it just be a head nod type shit like that and go. So, I get in there. I'm only in there for like 6 days before I got to go back to court. My first time was 1991. I only did 7 days on the island, but they put me in Mar 9. I seen a couple of fights in there, you know what I'm saying? And I wound up having one fight of my own because when I got booked, I had on a leather jacket. Nobody tried me for it in the house or nothing like that. But on my way to court, in court, I go to the mess hall and all of that. I seen the motherfuckers behind me. They had fight and all of that. I wound up getting jelly spilled on the back of my on my jacket and shit. Niggas behind me flipped their tray and shit, fighting before court or whatever. I'm in the pens now. I know a lot of people talk about like how the Spanish was doing their thing and all of that, and I can contest to that. For all 3 years that I hit Rikers Island, 91, 92, and 93. Exited 94, you know what I'm saying? And I really didn't look back since. But I had my couple little weeks here and there and all of that on the boat, Brooklyn House, stupid stuff like that throughout 2000s and late 90s. But I get in Mar 9, go to the mess hall on my way to court. I know you're gonna edit, so that's beautiful. Now, I'm in the bullpen on my way to court. Across from me, I see little homie. I ain't gonna say little homie, but he is younger than me, but he ain't my homie, but we are affiliated with the same family. You know what I mean? Gagi. Pete. You know what I'm saying? Much love to Gagi, and I don't know if I heard that he had passed and shit. I don't know. But he used to be up on Prospect Plaza and shit. He was short and bad. I always loved short, bad dudes. You know what I'm saying? That held it down. You know what I'm saying? Now, I wouldn't call people bad, but you know what I'm saying? People that was about their business, that was under 6 feet, under 5'8". Those are my kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? That knew how to fight. You know what I'm saying? Who had hands and shit. I've always been about the hand game since kindergarten and shit, man. Many, countless. So I always thought that could be the answer on Rikers Island, because that's what people say. Oh, this, that, and the third. You got this, you got that. You go to the island, you better know how to fight. So I didn't have any worries because I always knew I knew how to fight. You know what I'm saying? That was my shit through my whole life, man. Word. I can't really tell you, but a lot of people probably would in comments and shit like that. It's these Spanish dudes in the cell for court in the morning. I see them scheming on me last. It's a big, thick one. His name was Columbia. So it's some dude named Columbia and shit, man. I seen him. I didn't know his name, but I heard it because that's what they said it was. You know what I'm saying? Throughout this event. So he's looking and looking. First of all, they was looking around in the pen, bothering people and shit, man. It was 3 Spanish dudes, some thick Colombian dude, and he had 2 other Spanish cats with him and shit. I don't know where they was from, but they was running down on dudes and shit or whatever. You know what I mean? And they happened to look at me and shit and notice I had on the leather, you know? So I figured, I ain't figured. They kind of was saying some shit in Spanish and it was like moving towards my direction. So I got up off the bench or whatever in the pens, and I'm like, you know, like I said, they speak in Spanish, but you could tell by the body language they was coming to me for the jacket. And I'm like, what? And when I said what, I noticed that his 2 homeboys, they had Jeff stars in their hand, man. They had oxes and shit in their hands. And I'm like, what the fuck? They really on it. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to let them cut me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hold on, what do I do? I was like, oh shit. Now I told you, I seen Gagi. He was in a pen across from me by himself. You know what I mean? Now, I know he knows my face. I know his face and shit. He knows my family and all of that from up the hill, Saratoga, Bergen, Prospect Plaza, when it was the plaza. So he already knows a Brownsville nigga across the pen. So I hollered at him from the pen I was in, like, hey, yo, and I said his name, right? And he had mumbled some shit and said something to the Spanish dudes. right? So his man and them was mumbling. Basically, I wound up shooting 5 with Columbia. He trying to wrestle me last. I'm piecing him. He trying to wrestle. I'm getting the best of him, and we wound up getting closer towards towards the gate and shit. And COs came and broke it up or whatever. Yelled in the pen. We separated us or whatever. He backed away. They moved me into a different pen.
And you said that you seen that them niggas had 2 razors? They both had razors?
I guess he was going to send them to take it with the razors. The Colombian dude, he was bigger than them and all that. I guess Sundulas, you know, saying in Spanish, you know? And he didn't have to do nothing, but being that he seen me talk to Gagi, and Gagi gave me some rhythm, and he said something to them, and I don't know what he said, but he must have had his props in the building already, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess Gagi was there already back in 1990 and shit and all of that, so he was doing this thing. So he was on the level to where those 3 Spanish dudes, they ain't press no razor game on me or nothing for my jacket, but I did shoot 5. He must have told him, shoot, since you want his jacket or something to Columbia, shoot 5 with my man or something like that. Yeah, he must have said something like that. Thank you for that, because that's when they said, they said Gagi Amigo A or something like that. That's what I heard. Those are the words I heard out of him. And I wanted to shoot 5 with him. And it wasn't really a shooting 5, you boxing, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to just punching on him and stuff, and he trying to wrestle me and try to slam me or some shit like that. But I'm kind of strong and I'm low to the ground, so it's really kind of hard to slam me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm down here, you know? He was probably about 5'10", and he had to be over 200 pounds. His face and everything, his whole body was fat. We were both going to Brooklyn court, but we were going to different courts in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to Brooklyn Supreme. I think they're going to criminal or some shit like that. So no. Sorry. Scratch that. I was in the Queens pen. I was in the fucking Queens pen. Cause that's where we caught the case. It was on the J train. Yeah. And they took us to, I don't know, they took us to Broadway Junction. I'm confused with that because we was on the J train in Queens and they took us to Broadway Junction last. So I don't know which pen I was in, but they moved me out of shit from him. And I had my leather. I went to court. They ROR'd me. Boom, I'm out. That was my first trip in 1991, man. And I really ain't know too many names that was in there.
Hey yo, LAZ, if you can't live without this channel, feel free to send a Cash App donation. You heard $sign Gen Pop fam.